Hello everybody, it's Mega Frizzy Hand here, and today I have for you 3 Tiershift battles, and let's get started on the first one. It will be against Haru, Maru 2286, we see it from his perspective right now. I lead off with Polytoad to get the rain up, because I see how useful it will be. And here I go into Hitmontop. It's a Technician Hitmontop. I kind of forget about how strong Metagross was. Silly me. Of course, keep in mind now that Zapdos has +5 to all of its base stat totals because this is Tiershift, as does Hitmontop, which means that everything they do will be packing just that much more punch. Since I is Lucario, knowing that I need something to take the extreme speed, I go out into Aerodactyl, which is a suicide lead. Keep in mind he gets +10. There I thought that Earthquake was the most practical option. Of course, it's my favorite Balloon Heatran. I figure that I could take a hit, go for Stone Edge, break the balloon, and then I don't have another Earthquake around the team. Silly me. So I just go to Politoed, which is a Choice Scarf one, Hydro Pump away. Expecting Lucario to extreme speed, switch right into Exeggutor to try and take it. Of course, it only does 25% to a Harvest Exeggutor that gets +15 in each of its stats. Yep. That's just as scary as it sounds. Here he tries to set up the Dragonence, and at that point I realize I need this Sleep Powder off, and luckily it does get off. Because I've essentially rendered this Tyranitar useless for the rest of the game, I go straight into Hitmontop, knowing I can threaten out and hit anything he wants to send in hard with close combat. It survives thanks to Sturdy, but I do have the Mach Punch, so it won't be surviving much longer. See? Down for the count already. Now, yeah, he goes into Lucario, and I decided I didn't really want anything to take the extreme speed. I didn't have much more use for Hitmontop. So I go straight into Exeggutor and sub up knowing that he'd probably switch. I go straight for the Gauge Drain. Rhyperior takes that because, let's see, +5 each base stat. Probably has Solid Rock. Pretty strong. And then he takes himself out there. From the Life Orb recoil, he goes back into Tyranitar, and I recognize this as my chance to go set up again. I throw out the Focus Blast, destroy Tyranitar, and I attempt to do it to Lucario. Yep, that worked about as well as Focusness tends to. Luckily, I somehow survived the extreme speed. I get off the Focus Blast and KO. Had I not, I would have probably just used Lapras. Especially because Lapras is Hydration Dragon Dance. With +15 to each base stat because it's never used and it's Tiershift. Anyways, I'll see you at the next game. And we are back to this game, and it will be against 0EXE, and the left perspective will be of mine. And at the time of this game, he is sick, unfortunately. He begins with Ambipom, starts by faking out, and I realize at that point he's going to go to Espeon and try and bounce back the Stealth Rock. So I go into my Zapdos, knowing that I can take any hit he wants to throw at me, and sub up. And at this point I realize he can take any hit I can throw at him. But I figure as long as I keep hitting the Thunders, I might be able to get paralysis on it, which will make it that much easier in the long run. Instead, he switches that into his Tangela, knowing full well that the Tangela will be able to take any Thunder. So I go straight for the Toxic. It bounces back, but luckily for me, I have sub up, so it just doesn't do its job. So I go for the Thunder, hit it, get the paralysis off, the Reflect wears off, do about 27% with a Light Stream up to Espeon. Shows how strong Tiershift can make Pokemon. And I destroy it with another Thunder. He goes into Staraptor, even though it's resisted, I have prior damage on the substitute, so U-turn breaks it. Because Thunder misses on Yanmega, I want to switch out, knowing that I can get up Rain right now. I go straight for the Hydro Pump. I contemplated using Ice Beam there, but I figured Hydro Pump would probably do more damage. Knowing that the Fake Out is coming, I go to Aerodactyl, and because he does not have Espeon anymore, I go for the Stealth Box. He goes for his last resort, and it crits me and takes me out. I probably would have lost it. Probably would have lost it anyways, but Ambipom OP. So I take it out with a Thunder. No use surprise there. He sends in his Staraptor. The attack lowering doesn't really do any difference because anyways, he just KOs me right there with Retaliate. So I go straight into Lapras. At that point, I think he was probably expecting me to use an Ice Shard, but this is a Rest Dragon Dance Avalanche Waterfall set. So here I go for the Close Combat. Let him try and smack me in the face with everything, but he can, but it won't work. And of course, that's probably a hidden power Fire. I figure I can take another, hopefully get the Harvest Boost again, and get the Sleep Powder off. And once again it happens, and this just goes to show how good Exeggutor is. I force the switch out, right into Staraptor, and Psychic takes it out. He goes straight into his Politoed. Go into my Hitmontop to try and take the hit. I take it somewhat. I can't take another one. Of course, Regenerate kicks in. At this point, he's known that he's lost. My fear was that he'd be more than one attack on his Politoed, but he does not have more than one attack. There was absolutely nothing he could do to my Exeggutor. Not that it matters too much, because I can take out his Tangela before it wakes up. Just going to take one more Mach Punch, and GG. That was a good game, 0EXE. Hope to run into you again one day. And yes, before anyone asks, he was actually pretty highly ranked. Feel better, man. Feel better. And now we are back for the last battle in this series. Let us go, and we'll be battling Sherwood 96. Our perspective is on the left of the screen. He leads off with Smeargle, but knowing that I'm going to taunt, he goes out into Gorebyss, try and get that Surf off. Pretty powerful Surf, and I realize Hitmontop cannot take two of them. So I go into Exeggutor. He crits me there, and I figure, well, I can take another Surf, right? Nope. Yeah, I was banging my head because it's like, how did I not realize? So I go into Zapdos, thinking a Thunder should be able to KO it, and I actually managed to hit it. So Smeargle forced me to sleep. And of course, here I was forgetting that Smeargle's an NU Pokemon. So it has a plus 15 boost to all of its stats, making it an even better baton passer. And it screwed up my sense of speed tiers for some reason. And his HP EV was off here. He had a Salic Berry, but Belly Drum did not bring him within range of the Salic. He just mentioned that over in the chat. Here I get the crit on the Ice Beam, not entirely sure how much I needed it, but his dialogue seemed to imply that I did, so thank God for that crit. I hate Garchomp. It's the bane of my existence. I go for the Stone Edge on the plus 2 speed Mew. And a Mew with 105 special attack, still not enough to take out this Aerodactyl. Here I realize this is the best chance I have to shut down most baton passes with a Stealth Rock. I thought that Ice Beam would do a lot more damage, so I didn't try to get off any damage before. So I go into Zapdos, knowing that I could take these Dragon Pulses for days. And I just wait, so I can start roosting up. And wait. I think I might have had either 4 or 5 turns sleep, so either close to max or max sleep. Okay, I think that was 4 turns. And now I just have some nice fun with Roost. You can't switch out because then it's guaranteed I get pretty close to full health. And you just have to keep putting on the pressure. Here the Lumberry screwed me up because like, yeah, he's not going to have Lumberry. So I threw out the Toxic. And that 90 accuracy, man. That 90 accuracy just... bam. Made that last a little bit longer than it needed to. Since that the Smeargle gets up the Salic Berry boost, and okay, I'm going to switch out. I do not want him getting Spored. However, Lapras has Hydration, which means that he can use Spore all he wants. And Lapras will just wake up. Sure, I can't attack him that turn, but I can have fun. he can just not spore me. Yes, this is actually a life orb lapis because I figured when I made it. Yeah, I'll just rest up. Here the D-pulse is a critical hit. He sends out the Smeargle, it's left with 1%. I rest up to get the rest of my health back. He tries to belly drum. I wake up, go for the waterfall, and GG. It was a good game, Sherwood. It was a good game. He certainly did have a fun team. Well, anyways, I am glad to have introduced you to Tiershift. I'll probably be doing more of it in the future, just so that I can feel like I've given Gen 5 a good send-out. Well, anyways, have a good night, everyone.